If you're planning to buy an Apple Watch in 2026, then this is probably the most confusing choice. Do you save money and get the Apple Watch SE 3 or spend a little bit more and get the Series 10? You might think it's a simple decision. The SE is the budget series while the Series 10 is the more premium, so it's better choice. But I'm telling you that's not exactly the case because on paper, the Series 10 looks better. But after using both of them, I'm honestly surprised that the difference between the two is so little. In fact, in some ways, the SE 3 is even better than the Series 10. But more on that later. I'm Prakhar, you're watching Wearholic, and in this video, I'll break down the real difference between the SE 3 and the Series 10. Not just the specs, but what actually changes in daily use. Starting with the design. Honestly, from a distance, they look almost identical. Same overall shape, same design, same rotating crown, speakers, everything. But wearing them, you can instantly tell which one's more premium. The Series 10 feels more premium with the glossy and shiny finish as compared to the matte finish on the SE. It has better materials and just looks more refined overall, especially if you go for the titanium variant. But here's the interesting part. The SE 3 is lighter, and that's very important. I wore both watches for long hours. The Series 10 is not uncomfortable, but it's more substantial, whereas the SE was actually more comfortable. There were times that I totally forgot that I'm even wearing the SE. Not just because it's a smaller size, but also because the nylon composite back of the SE 3 makes it much lighter than the metal back of the Series 10. And you'll notice the difference during workouts or sleep. So this becomes a trade-off. SE is more comfortable than the Series 10, but it's also less premium. Now this is one of the biggest differences. Both watches have always on display, but the Series 10's display is just better. It's twice as bright at 2000 nits, it has thinner bezels, and these differences are instantly noticeable. However, after having used the Series 10 for more than a year and the SE 3 for a while, I believe that the SE 3's display is still good. In day-to-day usage, it's just as responsive, it's decently visible in bright outdoors, and after a while, I stopped noticing the huge bezels. But if the display really matters to you and you absolutely don't want the huge chunky bezels, then this is where the extra money goes. Performance is where things get interesting because both of them feel fast, identically fast. And honestly, why wouldn't they? Both the SE 3 and the Series 10 are powered by the same S10 chip with a 4-core neural engine and 64 GB of storage. So there is absolutely no difference in performance. Apps open quickly on both, scrolling is smooth, notification comes instantly, and in daily use, there's almost no noticeable difference. Which means you're not paying extra for better performance, because it's the same. You're only paying extra for other stuff like extra features and better hardware. The core smart features on the SE 3 and the Series 10 are almost identical. You can make and receive calls on both. Both support notification and messages. They both have offline Siri and you can use NFC and Apple Wallet on both. Both also have access to the App Store for installing apps like WhatsApp or Spotify on the Apple Watch. The Duo supports double tap gestures, universal gestures, and safety features like fall detection, crash detection, and emergency SOS. You can even play music directly from the speakers of both watches. Naturally, my experience with both of them was basically the same, apart from tiny cosmetic differences, of course. The only thing missing from the SE 3 was the depth app and the ultra-wideband chip, which enables precision finding. But one area where the SE was better is cellular connectivity. The SE 3 is 5G capable, whereas the Series 10 only supports 4G. Fitness tracking is also quite similar. Both the watches can track a wide range of workouts. I've personally used them both to track my runs and cycling workouts, and both of them have been consistently giving very accurate and similar results. I even compared the routes and stats side by side, and the difference was negligible. All the workout stats like heart rate, distance, speed, and elevation were identical. And it makes sense since they both have the same GPS and tracking hardware. So workout and fitness tracking is equally reliable on both of these. However, the health features is where the Series 10 pulls ahead. With the Series 10, you get more advanced sensors, hypertension notifications, blood oxygen tracking, and ECG monitoring. The SE 3 skips these 4 features. Besides this, they both have all the other health features like heart rate, sleep, vitals, cycle tracking, noise app, irregular heart rhythm notifications, etc. So now the real question is, do you need ECG and SpO2? Because from my experience, most people aren't using the ECG and SpO2 on a daily basis. I personally only use the heart rate and sleep tracking. So if you want those advanced health features and more accurate sensors, then the Series 10 is the way to go. But if you can do without ECG and SpO2, then the SE3 is just as reliable as the Series 10. Besides the health tracking, another noticeable difference between the two is the build. The Series 10 is available in two build options, aluminum and titanium with ION-X glass or sapphire crystal glass protection, whereas the SE3 is only available in aluminum build with ION-X glass protection. And for the back, it has a nylon composite back instead of metal like on the Series 10. So build-wise, the Series 10 is the more premium one and the more durable one too. I'll suggest you to use a protective case if you tend to bump your watch or if you work in rough environments like construction or something else. I for one have been using the Series 10 with a protective case for over a year, and to this day there isn't a single scratch on it except the base where it's exposed. I also felt that the haptics of the Series 10 are much better than the SE3. They are much more stronger and precise, whether it's the tactile feel of the scroll wheel or the vibrations of the incoming notifications. On the SE3, vibrations feel slightly softer, not bad but noticeable if you have used both. As for the battery life, it is very similar. They both easily last about a day on a single charge. Since I have the Series 10 in a larger 46mm variant, it lasts a bit longer, like a day and a half. But if you compare the larger or smaller variants of the SE and the Series 10 side by side, then I believe you will get similar battery life on both. The Series 10 may be slightly better but not a huge difference. Charging on the other hand is much more faster on the Series 10. While it can go from 0 to 100% in about an hour, the SE3 can take 15 to 20 minutes more. But in day-to-day usage, it's not a deal breaker. You'll need to charge both the watches daily or every other day. After using both, this is how I'd break it down. Get the SE3 if this is your first Apple Watch. You want the maximum value. You mainly use notifications, fitness, basic health tracking, and you don't care about ECG, SpO2 or the fancy DAP app. Because honestly, you're getting like 90% of the same experience, so not a big compromise. Get the Series 10 if you want a more premium feel. You care about the display size and haptics, you want advanced health features, and you just want the complete Apple Watch experience without any corners cut. So yeah, the Series 10 is the better Apple Watch, but the SE3 is the smarter buy for most people because the experience gap is small but the price gap isn't. And if the price gets too close, don't overthink, just get the Series 10.